Hey guys, in this month's Historical Fiction 101, I'm going to be sharing with you famous authors in fiction. I really do have a soft spot for books that feature famous authors, whether that be like William Shakespeare or Edgar Allan Poe, the list goes on. I love when famous authors just kind of pop up in a book and they play a pivotal, important role in that book. Whether they're interacting with a fictional character or with another historical character. I have 15 books here that I would like to share and recommend for you guys. The first book that I have here is Z, a novel of Zelda Fitzgerald by Teresa Ann Fowler. And this book tells the story of Zelda Sayer, who marries the infamous author F. Scott Fitzgerald, and she wants to try and find her own success out of her husband's fame. Next is The Paris Wife by Paula Mclain. This follows Hadley Richardson, who marries Ernest Hemingway, and the two of them going to Paris and becoming part of the Lost Generation, and Hadley having to deal with her husband's drinking and partying. Next, I have Mrs. Poe by Lynn Cohen, and this follows poetess Frances Osgood, who meets and falls in love with her literary icon Edgar Allan Poe, but the only obstacle in their way is Poe's very young wife, Virginia. Next is Vanessa and Her Sister by Priya Primar. This offers an intimate glimpse into the lives of Vanessa Bell and her sister Virginia Woolf, and the controversy surrounding the infamous Bloomsbury Group. Next is The Secret Diaries of Charlotte Bronte by Siri James. And this is told in the format of a diary. Charlotte Bronte living a secluded life with her two sisters, her drug-addicted brother, and her eccentric father, and Charlotte Bronte herself also having to cope with wanting to have success and fame of her own, and also having to deal with loving a man that she can't have. And then another book on this list from Siri James, this one being The Lost Memoirs of Jane Austen. And this follows Jane Austen, who has given up writing, but then she meets Mr. Ashford, who inspires her to pick up and finish Sense and Sensibility. Next, Dark Amelia by Sally O'Reilly. This follows Amelia Bassano, who becomes the muse and inspiration for William Shakespeare's The Dark Lady. And then we got some more Shakespeare love with The Tutor by Andrea Chapin, and this follows a woman named Catherine Delisle, who becomes the muse and inspiration for William Shakespeare as he tries to write Venus and Adonis. Next, The Dante Club by Matthew Pearl. This book takes place in Boston in 1865, and there's a series of grisly murders happening, all influenced by Dante's Inferno, and a group of writers team up to try and solve the case. And some of those writers being Henry Wadsworth Longfellow, Oliver Wendell Holmes, James Russell Lowe, and J.T. Fields. Next, I have The Lost Summer of Louisa May Alcott by Kelly O'Connor Mcnees. This follows Louisa May Alcott as she enters into a romance that threatens the future of her writing career, but this romance heavily influences her characters Jo and Laurie for Little Women. Next, The Dream Lover by Elizabeth Berg. This follows the French novelist George Sand and her scandalous affairs with her many lovers. Next, The Sherlockian by Graham Moore. This follows Arthur Conan Doyle and Bram Stoker as they investigate a series of grisly murders. And also, just to make note, this book does have a dual narrative. Some of the book takes place in a modern day setting, and some of the book takes place in a historical fiction setting where you will see Doyle and Stoker. Next, Alice I Have Been by Melanie Benjamin. This follows Alice Little, who becomes the inspiration for Lewis Carroll's Alice in Wonderland, and this completely, totally changes her life forever. Next, Twain's End by Lynn Cohen. This reimagines the crazy love triangle that existed between Mark Twain, his secretary, and his business manager. And the last recommendation that I have here, The House of Hawthorne by Aerobic. And this book follows the unlikely marriage between Nathaniel Hawthorne and his wife, Sophia Peabody. So that's it for this month's Historical Fiction 101. In the comments below, have I missed any books? Any books that feature authors where they're interacting with either fictional characters or other historical characters? Just give me those recommendations down below. So that's it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And if you like this video, you may like these other videos. Bye guys.